So what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed me all dressed up. You missed Picnic Sunday. We had a lot of fun with water balloons and watermelon and water and ropes and games and food and all sorts of stuff. And we had the perfect weather for it. It was gorgeous. Lots of kids playing and having fun, and lots of adults eating and chatting and having fun and watching kids, and just just a day where you're glad to be alive. You're glad to be in community. And I'm sure there are people who came today heavy in heart, and maybe we lifted a little for them. I know there are people who came here today feeling lonely, and I think that for a time anyway, we help relieve that loneliness, hopefully even longer than just their time here. And today was Trinity Sunday, which, let's face it, is everybody's favorite Sunday. There is nothing that gets the kids more excited than to talk about a theological concept like the Holy Trinity: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit of one substance, one God. And I didn't preach on modalism or partialism or anything. We sang and I preached the Trinity and I reveled in the Trinity, and I invited everybody who came to just sit within the Trinity, and we talked, as the Western Church does, about the triangle: equal sides, equal angle. We did that. I talked about the Orthodox Church, the Eastern Church, and the Trinity is perichoresis, the dancing around and round. We did that. And then I talked of the Trinity the same way that I talk about wine as a wine taster. The way we take wine and we sip and we inhale and we start to talk about things, not because we're trying to sell a wine to somebody or that we're trying to reveal the hidden secrets of the wine, but we're trying to find a way to communicate to another person what it is we're experiencing in the wine. And we'll talk about lead pencil, and we'll talk about tar and roses, or we talk about cat pee and wet dog as well. But we talk about those things not because we actually think there's cat pee involved in the wine or that a wet dog has actually sat in the glass of wine, but we're meant to be evocative. And so today I shared some tasting notes on the Trinity, on my personal experience of God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and how the Trinity invites me to think about God who creates my reality, creates the universe as an act of love. God saw that it was good. This reality that I live in, this universe, this world, in my faith, God intends to create it. There are lots of other creation stories that have the world created as an act of war between light and dark, or as a forum for gods and titans to be at odds with each other, or all sorts of things. But in my faith tradition, the world is created, the universe is created intentionally by God, and it's done as an act of love. God saw that it was good. And so I can infer some things about God through creation, because God's relationship to creation is intimate. God made creation. God is part of creation. And so I can look and expect to find God in the ebb and flow of life, in the life, death, rebirth. I can expect to see God in the awe that I experience when I look out over Lake Ontario, or in the quiet calm, the holy feeling I get early in the morning sitting in my backyard as the birds have just come awake. I understand God through those experiences because I know about God, that creator. That's a tasting note. I talked about Jesus, who is, again, an intention, not just somebody who is really, really good at being faithful and therefore we call him the Son of God, but that Jesus is an intention of God's intention. It's God's statement. This is who I am. You want to know about my character? You want to know what love looks like through my eyes? Here you go. And so as I interact with the stories of Jesus and the teachings of Jesus, I come to understand more about God. I understand that God and love are things that I can deny and turn away from. I don't learn that from God the Creator. I learned that from Jesus who goes to the cross. But I also recognize that the conversation isn't over. If I have started the conversation by discerning God in the natural world, and God has responded in Jesus, there is an ongoing conversation that I consider to be the realm of the Holy Spirit, where each new experience of mine, new feeling, new idea comes forward and is engaged by God, and the conversation goes on. I experience God without and within, and I experience God in a dynamic way, not in a way that is static and once accomplished, finished for good, but ongoing. And I emphasize today that these are tasting notes. This is my life, my palate, my experience. But even as I share tasting notes with other wine aficionados, and they may not like the wine that I offer them, but they'll understand it a little better. And maybe because of those tasting notes, I look a little more for that lychee in that wine, and I begin to discover it. So as I share my tasting notes, maybe it helps you look a little closer at your faith and your experience, and maybe see something you didn't see before, or find a new way to describe an experience you've had. And together, if we keep sharing our tasting notes, notes like the Holy Spirit, God, Jesus, the Spirit, together as one, the Holy Trinity, as we share those, maybe we learn something from each other. Maybe we continue to grow and keep our faith dynamic and vibrant. So that's what you missed today. You missed the excitement of the theology of the Trinity, and you missed the joy of a picnic, and we missed you. So I hope we get to see you soon, maybe next week. But whatever long it takes, we'll be waiting for you. And until we see you again, God bless.